Hello. No, on a serious note, this isn't going to be a meth-related activity. Um, and I don't know if people are taking me serious or what, like, my life is still kind of, well, it's like this. I've been trying to reach those people. I've been trying to find ways to relate with them and also to share in their little piece of hell, walking through the fire with them, so to speak, because how else can you have any right to say anything to anyone, right? If you have not been through it, you're just running your mouth. So I entered into their worlds, never losing my bearings, but totally living their life for a period of time so that I understand what it is that they go through from their perspective, right? Because that's important. That's very important. That really kind of brings me to the point I'm trying to make. I know that there are a lot of people out there trying to push me in a certain direction because they all think that I'm a meth addict or whatever. I smoke weed every day. I smoke weed and I do smoke meth sometimes, but it's not often. I used to do it every day, had to have it. I used to shoot up, that's a blood sacrifice, that's, you talk about some dark magic, that's dark magic. If you're doing it and you don't understand that, you need to look into it. It's a blood sacrifice to that God. So, anyway, as I sit here waiting for my hot bath water to cool down, anyway, I just wanted to talk about that to whoever needs to hear it. First of all, trying to tough love me and push me in a certain direction will most definitely end in rebellion. I will run from you and from whatever you're trying to make me do. I don't work that way. I'll never work that way, and I don't know why, but that's the way God made me. And trust me, I've tried to do it without even, it's almost compulsive, but it's from a life of people trying to fuck me over. And, well, people fucking me over for my whole lifetime. People that are close to me, too. I'm not just like some stranger or, some homeless person I picked up and tried to help. I'm talking about people who were close to me. The closest, in fact, like my ex-wife or my parents or, there was a point where everybody in my family, except for Mike, turned their back on me. And I think he probably even got in trouble for helping me out a couple times that he did. And so I didn't ask him for help anymore. But, that was like right after I got my divorce papers. And everybody treated me like shit. And I've said this several times, and I've even, talked to the people that I felt treated me that way. And I'm always met with, like, freaking anger, like, how dare I say anything about it? And I think that's horseshit, because the fact of the matter is that the people that I needed most in this world, whenever I needed them the most, turned their back on me. And I think there's a very significant lesson in that for all of us. First one being, I told you I'm not a liar. I never have been a liar. I've told lies just like anybody else, but I hate lying. I hate lies. I hate being lied to. I hate even thinking about lying. There are times that I do lie, but it's almost every time it's deception in a way that is going to help a person. Sometimes I lie about myself, just in how I act, not necessarily in words or whatever, but joining in, let's just say, any kind of activity that may not be looked at with approval by God, or whatever the case may be. It's usually to make myself look worse than I am. And I do that so that people aren't scared to open up to me. Because if I'm doing worse than another person, then they're not going to be as hesitant to open up with me. You know what I mean? And the fact of the matter is that I have been there. I've been that bad and worse. And I went way down that rabbit hole, and it gets awful dark down there. But I liked it. And I'm not talking about the drugs or the getting fucked over thing, but I liked the relationship that I got from it. Because no matter what, my demons are always there. They are always there. They don't take breaks or holidays or anything. I wrote a song about it. Okay? And I think that kind of effort is worth being mentioned. But when I am in my right mind, right? When I am doing well, mentally, spiritually, okay? Those are the only two that really matter. And it stems directly from spiritual to everything else, okay? Everything comes from that, and then it's manifested into this, or into what's around us, right? It's awful hot in here. I'm gonna just get hidden. Yeah, this better. I don't know if I can do that on YouTube. Let me just do that for a minute. Okay. Oh yeah, we're not doing meth-related activities. Although it kind of is. It kind of is. You know what I mean? Those are the people that God has sent me to help. I mean, quite frankly, it's starting to piss me off that people keep trying to fight what it is that God has given me to do in this life, and tell me that it's not for me and I need to let go and all this and all that. But none of you have ever put the effort in to spend time with me and enter into my world and see exactly what it is that I do. That's not true. There have been people, okay? But although they spent time with me, I don't think that they ever entered into my world and tried to see things from my point of view. You know what I mean? Everybody is stuck on their own fucking point of view. I am not. I could care less what you believe. I am way more concerned about your soul. I don't really care what your flesh is doing. It's not a moral issue, like said guru says. I love that term. It's not a moral issue for me. And it's not. There are no moral issues for me unless you're hurting people. Okay? That is a moral issue for me. But drugs and your habits or your patterns or your profanity or whatever, you know, I mean, profanity is almost a moral issue because you're actually speaking curses. And typically it's on yourself or things that have to do with you. So that's why cursing is not good. Cursing, literally like fuck, you know, fuck that, fuck my life, you know what I mean? Those are curses. Or a spell or whatever you want to call it, black magic, voodoo. You're having faith in the words that you speak at that moment because you're mad. Okay, anger can be a very good motivator for some people. Well, I mean, it's going to motivate you to do something one way or another. It's usually to one extreme or the other because most people don't understand that anger is not a bad thing. You do good to be angry. Just don't hurt anybody in that anger. Don't get revenge when you're angry, okay? Revenge is best served cold, right? So you want to get them back in a way that doesn't hurt them, but that blesses them. That's true revenge, okay? Let them see how well you were doing, even after they did this to you and tried to take you down or whatever, and you still didn't give up, you kept on fighting, and you got them back in a way that was such a blessing that it reaps coals of fire upon their head. It literally puts them in hell. So, and I don't mean the physical place, I mean right here, it creates hell on earth for a person. You know, that is that twisted that they feel the need to manipulate somebody and even put effort into doing so just to gain knowledge or control or whatever. And I get it the most from people that really shouldn't give a shit. Like, let's just, I'm not stereotyping here, but like witches or Satanists or, you know, they always want to bring that up. But usually it's not until, you know, because the whole deal with Satanism is to not have one belief, you know, not one God system, one, you know, it is everything. It is a Pangea of religions, okay? So it's, you can believe anything or nothing at all, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. It is everything but true spiritualism with God Most High, your Creator, okay? That's Satanism. It is the love of the self. It is being in a love affair with yourself, okay? Which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. And the snake was not wrong. And the snake did not lie in the garden. The snake told them the truth in a way that put doubt in their mind. He asked a question instead of making a statement. I really don't think there was a sin in the garden either. I think we'd all be fools to think that God could not stop one angel or one fallen angel from destroying the whole of humanity with one thought. That sounds like a God thing to me. God can do that kind of thing, right? See, so I understand why people would say Lilith is God or whatever, because she is. So am I. So are you. So is this candle. So is this wall. I mean, do you really want to be equal with a wall or a candle? Does that sound like God? God has an ego. A righteous, holy, absolutely unadulterated ego that is all of us. Okay? That is what we have of God. Okay? We have this ego that is our dark side, our shadow. Okay? That's when God separated the light and the dark. That's how we ended up with it, because he knew he could trust us with it. Right? Not all of us, but as a whole of humanity, it would be enough to turn the tide at that specific time that it's supposed to. So, and you know, it's not like you could stop him anyway. You know, he only wrote it down for us so that we would have a map. It's not directions how to do this. It's a map of how to get there. Okay? So, even if I had a drug problem, as in there's nothing more important in my life than drugs, it is my God, and that's what I worship, that would be a drug problem. If I had a drug problem, it would be very obvious, wouldn't it? I wouldn't be sitting here taking the time to think about what everybody says or listen to all the YouTube videos that people send me so that I can put in my 2 cents, or they think they need to correct me, or whatever. And I had to quit watching so many of them because it was causing problems. It was causing problems with everyone involved, because I wasn't giving in to that spirit, to that rebellious spirit. I was holding my ground. Okay, and I tried to do rituals. I tried to, invoke Lilith, which I did, but she won't show herself to me. She won't come speak with me. I wonder why that is. Maybe because I don't put up with lies. Because I won't believe lies. And if I believe a lie, it's because I haven't found out the truth yet. Okay, but 99% of the time, I'm gonna know pretty quickly, unless God hides it from me for whatever reason, to learn a lesson or whatever. Okay, I'm gonna know because your spirit knows, and so does mine, and they communicate, but only in person. 80% of communication is body language, or our souls speaking to each other, right? That's a scientific fact. They've proven that, okay? So how can you have that kind of interaction with somebody over a phone screen? You'd have to have some sort of gift or special connection to do that, like the Holy Spirit or Wi-Fi, the internet. But one thing, you have to hide this gift that you have, right? That's what Satanism is. You want to keep it to yourself. Or do you share it? There's your why in the road right there. Because let me tell you, the devil teaches the exact same thing that God does. He wants to be God. He wants to show himself as God. He wants to sit on God's throne and tell the world and himself that he is God and rise above the Most High. Why would he not be imitating God if he wants to be God and show the world he is God? And why wouldn't he? Hello, think about it, people. The devil does not run around looking evil to anybody. That is not what the devil wants at all. In fact, he would much prefer that you didn't believe he existed at all. That would be the easiest thing for him to do, is get you to believe that he does not exist, that there is no evil. I do not believe that God, or, well, like this is the everything is God thing, then yeah, he did, but man did that. There was no evil until this human history began. To my knowledge, as far as is written down in any book or any religion, man created evil. We did that, not God. Why do you think that he had to buy us back from death and sin? He paid our ransom. We were being held hostage by our own evil desires, which is whatever you feel like is evil. If you think that donuts are evil and you genuinely feel bad every time you eat a donut, by God, that's a sin in your life. You are sinning against God, who is you. You know what I mean? Like, it's all very true. And there are a few things in a couple different written religions that I don't agree with, but they are all incomplete. Every single one of them is missing the other religion. You have to put them all together, and then you realize that it's stupid. You don't even need religion. The religion is just so you get to know God. That's all it is. It's a speed dating process. Church. Think about it, church. The temple is just a place where people go, gather, and talk, and be seen and be heard, or whatever it is they feel like they need to do at the church, quote unquote. But I am the church. I am the temple. That's what God said. He said, in those days, I will live in them. I will be their God. And they will be my people. And I will live among them. And they won't need anybody else to teach them about me. I will teach them myself. My spirit will be in them, teaching them, writing it in their minds and in their hearts. Nobody has any excuse to say they don't know what the truth is. And if you don't know the truth, then you are deceiving yourself. Period. There is no other options. You either know the truth or you are lying to yourself saying that you don't know the truth and that you're going to say this is the truth because you're not sure, or you're mad at God, or you're undecided, or whatever the reason may be. The fact that you even thought about it means that you know there is a God. If you never had a thought once about it your whole life and then you died, and I honestly believe that you would go to paradise. You know what I mean? Like, religion sends more people to hell, in my opinion. And I believe that to be a fact. I really don't think that's an opinion. Jesus did not like religion. You know what I mean? Like, look at all the other gurus. Like, they don't really claim a religion, do they? Sure, they're Buddhist or whatever, but they really did their own thing and then wrote it down. And people started worshiping them like they knew something, but really all they did was get to a place where they had constant communication, a direct line, a full-on part of the Godhead. Okay? That's what everybody's after. That's the magic, right? That's the supernatural thing that everybody's looking for that's missing in their life, right? Because he said we were supposed to be made like him. But I really don't feel like God. Have you tried to feel like God? Have you felt his endless pain? His infinite pain? Because he feels all of our pain. He is us, right? Okay, so have you experienced his joy? His joy that has no end, his happiness, his strength, his... No, it kind of seems like we spend most of the time with darker things, lower, denser energies, doesn't it? Most of the world, I mean, the world is headed in that direction, is it not? Look around you. If you're listening to this video, you know. So, I guess my point is, maybe it's time that you listen to me. And better yet, just follow me. I don't need a following because you're following him, which is where I'm going. Everything is God. Yes, that's all correct. But you are not God Most High. Prove it. Prove you are God Most High. That's what I say. Prove it. Where's the proof? The proof's in the pudding, right? Let's see your godlike abilities. Huh? Oh, what's the matter? You can't call fire down out of heaven? Not yet. Not yet. I will. I am that. I am that. You know, God made us his equal. But then sin and death entered the world. And he gave us these skin suit vehicles that limit us from doing things. Okay? He wanted us to depend on him so that we would learn about sin, and that one day we would be ready for an eternity, that utopic paradise that everybody is dreaming of, or heaven, whatever you want to call it. I think heaven is just a staging area. It's a waiting area until Judgment Day and then eternity. You know what I mean? Like, there's 1,000 years after. I don't think that a lot of people that are already gone and dead, they won't be there either. They're fine. They're resting. They entered into God's rest and they are fine, I promise. So, you know, and I don't know that that's how it's going to be exactly, but that's how God has shown me what is to come and what is, you know, being done, what it is that he finished. But as far as everyone else goes, I think the simple fact that you are searching is amazing and is a miracle. I don't care what your religion is. I mean, you can be the darkest voodoo, devil-worshipping, you know, hooker bitch that the world has ever seen and still go to heaven. And still not be separated from God. That's death. Death is eternal separation from anything that is good. Okay? And really away from anything. That's what I believe hell is for human souls, is nothingness. Nothingness. That's what you're accepting. When you accept nothingness, you're accepting nothingness as your God. And that's what you'll have. Do you know what nothingness is? Imagine yourself in a darkness so black that it envelops you, seems to be saturating your entire being, almost suffocating to crushing. And not to mention, you can feel no hope, no love, no anger, no joy, just nothingness. Nothingness forever. And you're conscious of it. You are conscious of nothingness, aren't you? That's what you say you are. But it was given to you in a way that put doubt in your mind. Nothingness is great if you're trying to meditate and clear your mind. But to accept nothingness, I mean, listen to the words that you say. Do you even realize what you're doing? You were just telling me about the power of your words and how every word is a spell and so on. I've been saying that for years. And it's true. We're walking warehouses of seed. Every word we speak, every action we take toward a person or toward ourselves or towards God or towards anything that is eternal has an eternal consequence, good or bad. Duh. That's called karma. That's what seeds do. They grow karma. You know, like, good or bad, you know what I mean? So it's really up to you as an individual to decide if you want to live a lie or if you want to live the truth. You know, how could you accept nothingness and then claim that you are God? I really don't know how to ask you that question in a way that doesn't make you sound stupid. And I apologize for that. I really do, because I don't think you're stupid. I don't think that you're crazy or retarded or sacrilegious or anything negative, except for one thing: you have been deceived. You believed a lie, willingly and knowingly, a sin of commission. I wonder why. I wonder why. You know, it's like when something doesn't really make sense, it's because someone's trying to pull something on you, or they're trying to make a buck. Because it is the love of wealth that is the root of all kinds of evil. And you know who that root is? The serpent, who wants to look like God, sound like God, be like God, was already the most like God, but that wasn't enough. Wealth, the love of wealth, that word is not money. That was poorly translated by, anyway, it's fucking white people. Anyways, it was always about control. It was always about control. And the best way to control somebody is with the truth. All you have to do is point them in the wrong direction with the truth, and they'll get lost forever. Nothingness. They'll never find it. You'll never find what you're looking for, because you're going in the wrong direction. Even if it's 1 degree off, it is still, every step you take is taking you further away from the truth that you're seeking. And I think everybody needs to know that. You know, I mean, it's all over my music. It's all in everything that I do. You know, I try to be totally honest and show you what my real life is like. You know, I mean, there are some things that I don't show you out of respect for other people. I don't know if it's really respect for other people, but out of the common courtesy for somebody else, you know, that might be embarrassed or whatever. You know, like, I've had my life so exposed to everybody, and this is unwillingly, okay, at first. And it took me a while to get it figured out and actually take, but this is what God did allow this, because it was preparing me, one, to get rid of my stage fright, but it also kind of, okay, so that everything that God has for me and that is trying to prepare for me to be strong enough to take on this blessing, okay, the enemy is pushing in that same direction, but it uses the things that I should be getting better at, and it takes these things and finds a way to make my passions miserable. That's what sin does. That's what nothingness is trying to do to you. That's how you get to nothingness. You have no passion. You have nothingness. You feel nothing. You're numb. You have no conscience anymore. There is no right. There is no wrong. Except for deep down in your soul, you know for a fact that there is right and wrong. And you should be accountable for that. Don't you think? See, I have serpent in me too, just like you. The difference is that I found that you can make your serpents work with you, either forcefully or lovingly. That's authority. To have all authority over all the works of the enemy. Not some or most, but all. That's real power. And I'm living it in a very humble, loving way, best that I know how. I'm not using it to get what I want. Obviously, look at my life. I do this for other people. I have my crutches. I've had horrible addictions. I've stolen from my parents. I've never straight up robbed anybody, but I'm not saying that I wouldn't have done it then, because what you're doing with an active addiction that you are worshiping as not just an idol, but as your God, you are entering into an agreement for that spirit to have control of you. Control is always the reward. That's why I don't believe in religion. I mean, the moment that you set yourself to a certain set of rules, beliefs, or standards, then you are giving back the salvation that was so freely given to you. That's why you need to be ransomed, because you believed a lie. That's what it's always been. That's what he saves us from, is our own mouth, our tongue, right? Here today, I call as witness the earth and the moon and the ocean. And here before you, choose life or death. Which will it be? Will you choose life or will you choose death? He wanted us to choose to enter into that agreement so that we would have the experience which gives us the wisdom that we need to avoid those things in the future. If you accept that there is nothing and no rule over us, which is what the government is trying, okay? The government's a religion too. They're trying to be God. In fact, they play God all the time. I mean, the similarities are uncanny. Anyways, it's a blind faith religion. And so is every other religion, except for the true spiritualism that is God and that relationship with him. How do you know, Ben? because he came and he talked with me and he spoke to me and he met with me on that day and marked me with his seal. And that was my down payment that everything else that he says is true. It is my inheritance coming to me. And I guess we might as well go down this road and talk about the money issue, all right? The money thing, because everybody thinks I'm rich. Some people know that I'm not. Some people know why I'm not. Okay? Here's what I think I know. I feel like we need the Margaret Singer effect right here. That's the last shot of the film, Margaret Singer shot. Anyways, I wish I could get just a little further away. Is that it falling in the drink there? Okay, well that's good enough. Yeah, we'll go with it. Okie dokie then. Alright, so here's what I think I know. I believe that somebody in my family, whom I am researching and I will find out about, I'm very, very close. Somebody left me either an inheritance or an inheritance in the form of a trust fund. And I believe that either 36 or 37 was the weird age that they put on the stipulation, or if he does not stay married, or, you know, there's some sort of thing in there, then he does not get it until he's 36 or 37 or whatever, okay? It was just kind of a goal to give me, right? This is what I think I know, okay? I have absolutely no proof of this yet other than what God has told me, which is enough for me. But before I try and do anything in this realm, I need something tangible, right? I need proof. So here's what I decided to do. Fuck you and whoever's trying to keep that money from me. I'll look like a tweaker and make my own millions. I don't need your fucking money. I don't need that money that you're trying to keep from me, that you're using to try and destroy me because you want it yourself. You want control of me because you think you know what is best, but you don't have any fucking clue what goes on in my life, do you? Only what you have illegally tapped into my phone to watch. That's called invasion of privacy. How would you like it? I think everyone that played a part in it, that should be their sentence, is that they have to live a candid life. I did it, and I embraced it. And everyone who watched any of it knows the paranoia I went through, the feelings that I got, because I'm very empathic, okay? I'm psychic and I'm empathic, and I can feel things that aren't there. I can hear people talking about me that aren't there. I can hear people arguing that need me to be there. I hear my children say things to me, especially if they're watching on the dark web, because that's where it's being broadcast at. The only reason I have not done anything about it is because I'm helping somebody. Somebody sees this and it's changed their life, because God is using everything for the good of those who are called and love Him. Everything in my life will be made to the good because I love Him and I am called according to His purpose. Do you think you can stop anything that God's got going on? Right? If you are God, stop something that God is doing. Oh, look, they've been trying. They've been trying to stop me. And the only thing that they have left to hold on to is lies. Lies and more lies, stacked on more lies. Lies about me, lies to me. Lies, lies, lies. Just like they did to Jesus. Now, if any of you wants to be like God and be God and call yourself God, then you need to suffer like God did. And escape your accountability. What kind of weak-ass religion is that? It's no religion at all. It's a lie. It's a lie. I mean, it's a religion. It's a written down religion. You know what I mean? Like, you're all fools that are going to burn. Or be nothingness. I feel like I'm the only one. Like, and then even though people see some of the things that go on in my life, and everybody in my family knows about this one thing, right? Either the inheritance or that I'm being broadcast for the whole fucking world to see, the collective to see, right? How dare anybody look down on me? Honestly, you don't have anything people might see as unsatisfactory in your life? People might look at you and say, oh man, I can't believe that they're doing that. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know what I say about those kinds of things? Man, I hope they get that right. I hope that leads them where they need to go. You know, I believe this is why God allowed this to happen, because somebody knew that I was sent to destroy them or destroy their hold over people. So ever since I was born, the devil came, seen my dad, gave my dad a vision of, if you don't make sure, basically the devil told him, he's mine and there's nothing you can do about it. He's mine. So right from that day, like, my dad had that dream repeatedly over the course of a week, I guess, every night, or more than once every night, or whatever it was, to the point where he was waking up in a cold sweat screaming. And he finally told my mom what it was. And then when I was around 3 or 4, I had a supposedly imaginary friend. But this friend was not imaginary. I know this because I don't remember. And anything that was supernatural in my life has been hindered. It has been blocked. It has been, I have strictly ran on faith to get my gifts back. Not knowing anything of the witchy way, even though my mom and my grandma were heavily involved in it at some point, and then they hid it from me because they thought that they were doing me a favor. But really it was just control, trying to hide your own mistakes. Isn't it? Isn't that why the first human beings lied? To cover their mistakes. Where's your brother? Am I my brother's keeper? Lying with a question. Did God really say that? It's 44:22 when I said that. 44 minutes in, 22 seconds. I know it's been a long video. This bath is amazing. And it's still hot too. That's got to be a God thing too, right? It doesn't feel like it's dropped 1 degree. That's awesome. Freaking awesome, man. Anyway, I guess I'm going to go ahead and stop because now I don't feel like the Spirit is leading me to talk anymore. I think I said everything I needed to. And, never think I'm hating on you or your religion, because any religion can lead you to the light or the dark. And you can find light in either one of those places. Darkness provides light for me a lot. I am grateful to darkness for everything she does for me. But I am not grateful to that evil demon that pretends to be Lilith and has so many people fooled. Because, hey, man, if you want to be at the top, don't you need to imitate what people do at the top? Right? You guys have so many of these beliefs, and then when you try to apply it to the truth and spiritualism, it is just the opposite. Just the opposite. Like the lie language that you speak so fluently. And I don't mean you in specific, I just mean you as in the collective. It's how I am a part of the collective. I believe that I have initiated, but I believe that I was duped into it, and that makes it null and void. So, by the world's fleshy standards, I am one of the collective. That's why they look at me like, why don't he get it? Because they don't get it. It's not me that hasn't got it. It's y'all that hasn't got it. One God. I am, he said. Not we are. He said, I am. I am. Now what that means to us is, you need a friend? I am that. You need a lover? I am that too. Do you need an enemy? I am that. Do you need a God? I am that. I can show you the God in me. Oh shit. Okay,